Scrapbooking buddies, Debbie Martin here for our December edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers. If this is your first time joining us, what we do is there's three of us, Nicole So and Donna Gus and myself, and we take a paper pack and we turn it into 6 pages. So you're going to do 2 pages with me, hop to the link below and go to Donna's page and hop to the link below and do Nicole's page. So let's get started. Today we're using the Nordic Winter designer paper. Okay, so the 4 pieces of paper you're going to take out are these 2 Nordic flowers that kind of have this beautiful blue design on the back, kind of like a snowflake. One of the wood and one of the green. Okay, so we're going to set these 2 aside and we're going to go ahead and get started. So you're going to take your trimmer and we're going to be doing a 1-inch frame. So to do that, if you've never done a frame before, you simply just put it in at the 1-inch line. Okay, and then you're going to bring your housing unit. So this is where our blade is. We have our straight blade in there, and I'm going to pull it sideways so you can see it. It's 1 inch from here to here. So we're going to put it once again at the 1-inch line, and then the housing unit is going to stop right at the edge of the paper, which brings it 1 inch in. Then we're going to bring it down here to 1 inch away from the line down here. So we're going to press and bring it down here and stop it just where the edge of the paper is. And then we're going to turn it. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Put it at the 1-inch line. Bring it right here. Bring it down to the edge of the paper. Turn it 1-inch line. And I find it easier to use the 1 inch over here, but you can do whichever side is easier for you. Stop it there. And 1 more time. Okay, so at the 1-inch line, make sure it's nice and straight because we don't want a crooked frame. So let's back that up and make sure that's straight. 1 inch and bring it down here. And then we're going to set this aside and we're going to do that 1 more time. Okay, so we bring this into the 1-inch line. This is a great way to save paper too if you're doing any type of frame on your page. Okay, 1-inch line. A 1-inch line again. And 1 more time. If you go over on your cut, it's not a big deal on this design because it's actually going to be covered up a little bit too. Okay, so there we have our 2 frames. I'm going to set this one side over here. And then the next cuts we're going to be doing, we're going to be using this beautiful wood. Okay, so what we're going to do with that is we want an 11 by 11 inch piece. So we're just going to take 1 inch off of this side. And we're going to take 1 inch off of this side just so that we're starting. It's just a little bit easier to start with the size piece that you know you need. So we're going to set these aside to not get confused. Okay. And we ultimately want our wood going this direction. So we're going to do all of our cuts going that direction. So we're going to start and we're going to do 4 1/2-inch lines. So your 1/2-inch line is right there. It's the longest line between this gray mat and your 1 inch. So we're going to do 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, all the rest of our cuts are going to be 1 inch, and we're going to need 8 1-inch lines. So we're going to bring it over here. 1, 2, 'Put that right on the line. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so these are the pieces we're going to be using. We're going to set this aside. We're going to take our green piece of paper. It doesn't really matter which direction because we're using this side. And we are going to make some mats. We're making 3 4x4 mats. So we put it in at the 4-inch line. This is extra. And 4 and 4. Okay. Now the only other thing you're going to need is a pair of scissors, so make sure you have those handy. And let's go ahead and start putting this together. So we have these beautiful frames, and we're going to put them right here so you can see how pretty those are. And we're going to be flipping this over, okay? So I wanted to make sure that my flowers were going the same direction, so it's up and up. And I don't know if there's a real direction to this, but I wanted to make sure they're right. Now we can just wait and go ahead and put our window frame on here if we want, but I'm going to flip it over. And if you haven't used tape chips are great to hold things together. So let's just put this in here like this. And maybe it would go better this direction. If you keep it, I guess it would be better if I went like this, because then we could match up the design. So if we did this and we matched up the design, we know we would be having it exactly in the right place. Like this. Yes, it goes like that. Okay. So we want to flip it over to the other side. We're going to flip the entire thing over like this. And then we're going to flip this over. And this edge is not going to show, so you don't have to worry about that at all. So grab a couple tape chips. Okay, they're just double-sided tape, but they're kind of good to hold things together. Okay. So we can, keeping in mind that your edge is not going to show. You don't have to be super picky about how it goes in there. Now we can peel off the back of these because they're just double-sided tape like that. But right now I'm not going to peel off the back. I'm just going to use the front. When we go to actually put our page down, maybe we will. Because it's just holding it together. So I just want it to have like a nice straight edge there. And there. Okay. And this is showing a little bit, not going to matter. So don't get too crazy about that, okay? Because it will not show. We're going to flip it over. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We are calling this a window to winter. But you could use a window to anything. You could do spring, summer, winter, fall, whatever you wanted to do. It's just like you're looking from your window outside. Okay, let's put that there. Let's put one up here. And one over here. Perfect. Okay, so this is our little window, and you can see it's not perfect, not gonna matter. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put these little strips in. So what I want you to do is line it up on your mat because we really do want it come in at the center. Okay, so we're going to do 1 at 6 this direction. And these are going to be a little longer. This is where you're going to use your scissors a little bit. Okay. So let's put those two, grab your repo tape, and we're going to want to make sure that we put it on straight. So let me make sure that you can still see what I'm doing here. Sometimes I tend to run off. We're putting the repo tape on the back, and we're going to bring it in, and we're going to put the middle of this in the middle of the 6-inch line. So it's going to come here and go up here. Just like that. And of course I ran out of repo tape, as I always do. When I'm doing any type of work, I run out of my tape. And I guess we're just gonna switch over to regular tape. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing again. Put a little bit of tape on this. Bring it in here, make sure none of your tape is showing. That's the good part about the repo tape. Putting in the center of the 6-inch line in the center. Now you're gonna grab your scissors. It doesn't have to be super neat because once again, this is gonna be covered. So snip that off, we don't need that. Take that piece off and this piece off. And we're gonna do that one more time. So put your adhesive on the back. If it's hanging over, just tuck it under like that. We're putting it in the middle of the 6, bringing it over here, trying to get it in the middle of the 6 over here too. That's how we'll know that it's straight. And then we're going to take our scissors and trim this off. Okay. And we're going to do that one more time with the little thin. Once again, we're using the 1/2-inch strips. Okay. And we're bringing that in the middle of that, bringing it over here, trying to make sure that that's in the middle of that. Sometimes you can stand up, you'll see the angles a little bit better. Okay. And let's trim this off right here. Now we're ready to start putting our window in itself, okay? So we want our wood to be going vertical. So I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like. We're gonna just put it going all the way around. But because we want our windows to be centered in our paper, we want this to come in. That's another good reason to use the mats, is we want this to be at the 1/2-inch line up here. And then this one's gonna be at the 1/2-inch line over here. This one will be at the 1/2-inch line here and here. Then you can just kind of eyeball it. Does it look right? Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so we are gonna grab, if I could have my assistant grab me some repo tape, that would be great. And we are going to just put this right across there. And we're going to do the same thing here. So this, you're not actually putting it on the very corners, just a little bit. Once again, we're putting this at the 1/2-inch mark and at the 1/2-inch mark up here. Let's do that again, one more time. And then we're going to miter the corners. Okay. Bring this down, put it at the 1/2-inch mark, right there. Make sure it's at the 1/2-inch mark over there, and put our last piece in. Okay, line it up here at the 1/2, right there. Hope you guys are enjoying all of our videos that we're doing with you. If you've missed any, you can always go back to our YouTube channel and find them. Okay, now we're going to miter our corner. So we're just going to take our scissors. We're going to come in here. We're going to cut corner to corner. So I'm going to pull it up to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. This corner to this corner. Okay, so then you're going to take this little piece off. And this little piece off. And you might have to add just a smidge of adhesive on that. Okay, let's go down here. We're going to do the same thing again. Corner to corner. Okay, it's not 100% straight, so let me make that a little straighter. Okay, up here. Corner to corner again. Okay. And we're going to do that one more time down here. This one I'm going to put a smidge underneath here because it's moving a little bit. So we want to have our corners nice and straight at the corner of this one to the corner of that one. Now see how this hung over just a smidge? We're doing the corner to corner, so we don't need that little piece underneath there. You can pull that off and pull that top piece off. And a little bit of adhesive got on there. And let's just make that a little straighter. Perfect. Okay, let me move this aside and let's do this one. We're going to do the same thing again. Okay, get rid of the little pieces you don't need. And pull this over here. And we're putting our 4 pieces all the way around. Okay, once again, we're keeping all of the pieces vertical. We're coming in at 1/2 inch. If that's not laying straight, you can pull it back up. Sometimes when you're doing the frames, it is a little bit tricky to get the paper to lay straight. But because we're covering the edges, that really helps on this. Okay. So we're going to make sure that we're doing 1/2 inch all the way around. Let's go ahead and add a little adhesive now. And if you're using Repo, that really does help. But of course, I grabbed it and then left it downstairs before I came upstairs. My lighting is so much better upstairs in my kitchen. So let's go ahead and stick this down. Once again at the 1/2 inch, going all the way to the top, 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch from the top. And here's our last piece. Then we're going to be ready to add some pictures and some embellishments. So 1/2 inch, and that's a smidge off. Let's take this down. There we go. That's better. And 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're coming back in with our scissors again, taking it from corner, the tippy corner, to the corner. Okay, get rid of the extra pieces you don't need, and then you can add a little bit more adhesive then. Perfect. Okay, coming down here, corner to corner. Take that off. Okay, there's also a little extra piece on this side if you want to take it off too. You can't really see it, but in the thinner paper, you might end up just seeing a smidge of it. Then come up here, corner to corner one more time. You could leave it without mitering it. That's totally up to you whether you want to do that or not. I think it looks kind of cool. Take your little extra piece off, extra piece. Take a little bit of the tape runner you can see, and let's do our last corner. Tip of the corner, inside corner to the outside corner. Okay, and there we go. Get all of our little corners. You could use these corners on your photos, like old photo corners if you wanted, or we're just going to throw them away today. Then we're going to bring in, here's page 1, and we're going to bring in page 2. We're going to make this corner match a little bit more because it needs a little bit more of adhesive, it looks like. So let's throw a little bit underneath there. Perfect. And maybe a little bit under the corner because we want the edges. Okay, great. So now we're ready to add some embellishments and some photos. So I'm going to be adding some photos of the grandkids. Let's do 1, 2, 3. These squares are 4.5 by 4.5. So we're taking our 4 by 4 mats, and that's what we're using. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's kind of a direction in that, I think. And let's add a few little embellishments. These are the embellishments that I'm using today. I'm using this little truck, which is so cute. We're probably going to put him a little bit outside of the frame, just to get his, and some snowflakes. We are using these adorable little deer. And I must have lost my third deer. I can't find my third deer. There's a little baby third deer. One of my dogs probably ate it. One of my dogs love to get into my stuff. And I'm pretty sure that it was here and it might have fell on the floor. So when you see the picture, I'm going to put my third little deer in there because that's where he should be. We're going to look at this beautiful little cabin, which we're going to tuck underneath here a little bit. Kind of give it like we were looking at out the window like that. And a snowman. And let's add a few photos. And once we get it how we want, here's a few more photos. There's a little round snowman. Let's go ahead and stick this down. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick our pictures down. The pictures ended up being 4 by 4, which is pretty easy to do out of a 4 by 6 photo. This picture I cut down a little bit more. This one is 3 3/4, because I kind of wanted to see. So these two right here are 4 by 4 photos, because that's the same size as our green mats. Okay, and let's stick these guys down, centered in there. Cutie patooties right here, and stick that down. I don't think we put the mat down. We need to do that. And let's see. Pictures are the most important part, so let's get our pictures stuck down. And then we'll go back, and I think we're going to need to add a little bit of foam squares to give it a little bit of a dimension. So let's go ahead and do that. That looks cute like that. So we get them down. We didn't get these guys down. Stick them down. And when I find my other little baby deer, he's going to go right here. And I think he's the one that I'm going to pop. So over here, let's go ahead and put our snowflake down. This is a very fun collection for winter. And we got our house. Kind of put that up there. And I think I want to pop my snowman. Let's use a couple little foam squares on this. This is looking cute. Make sure you go watch the other two girls' videos down in the link below. There's this little snowman. I think we're going to pop the truck. So it looks a little maybe closer to us as we're looking out the window. And let's put our snowflakes and our Christmas, our little winter tree down like this. And our little deer. I hope you're enjoying all the videos. Make sure if you've missed any, you can always go back and see them. And let us know in the comments what you think. If you're liking it, what your favorite one was. And then we're going to put the little baby deer right there when I find it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video today. And happy scrapbooking.